Everyone, today is Monday, June 30th, and the time is 8:13 p.m., and we will start our special meeting. Is there anyone who we'd like to acknowledge who has gone on before us, board members?
Ship family.
Yes, Virginia Ship. Virginia Ship. Her funeral was today. Yes. Her funeral was today, yes. Yeah. May we have a moment of silence for prayer? Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Ford.
Present.
Trustee Harvey.
Present.
Trustee Thurman. Present. Trustee Owens.
Present.
Supervisor Suarez.
Present.
Chairperson present. And Chair and consent consultant controversy.
This is a special meeting, and what we'll do today is we'll save the citizens' comments for the end. We have our auditor here to do a presentation. The purpose of the meeting is to have the presentation done by the auditor, to vote on the audit, to approve, disapprove the resolution concerning MERS payout, and approve and disapprove the contract for LaToya McElroy, consent agreement coordinator as an independent contractor. I do have a question. I'd like to delete one of the items from the agenda. I don't have the contract. I mean, the resolution. I don't have the resolution. Okay, so let's start the table. I said delete. I'm sorry, I meant to say table. So, excuse me. I would like to ask the board, can I table, excuse me, I did not mean to say delete, table item number 3, approve this resolution concerning payout of MERS assets. Okay, okay, board, the attorney has advised me otherwise, it's item number 3. Thank you. Okay, so you've seen the agenda.
It's a sidebar. It's public hearing. It's not public hearing. One is Donna asked for, and then one is
we did ask for a reschedule for a meeting for Monday. And I just see this also because I was going to bring it up. So I'm only requesting that based on what we had asked our last board meeting, to reschedule the board meeting as is. So I want to have this, make this matter record that this is a typo. This is what my last board meeting.
What number did you say
He said when we get to it. Okay, board, I have a motion to approve the agenda.
I'm sure you make a motion to approve the agenda with necessary correction.
It's been motioned by Owens. I have support.
Support.
Supported by Ford to approve the agenda with the necessary corrections. Down to item number 1, to review the, excuse me.
favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries.
Item number 1, to review the 2013 audit as presented by our auditor, Mr. Wilkerson. In the past, we have had Mr. R.C. Jones, and I would like to say that our audit has been presented today. It was due June 30th, 2013, the first time the township has had an audit in on time and over a very long time. So, thank you, Mr. Wilkerson. You can take the floor.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you all for having me this very hot evening. I made one change when I was submitted before today. So this is page 11. We've got a change from the original page. And the report that I gave you all on, that's the new page 11. Basically, the change is regarding the downtown development authority. I'm not going to go over the entire report to you tonight. What I want to do is hit on the highlights, I think, things that you should know. And then I'll answer any questions you all might have about the report before leaving the notebook tonight. Basically, what the auditor does, we give you a report. Look on page 1 and 2 of the report. You all have a report.
Excuse me, do we need a report for the audience? Do I need to make some copies for that?
For the board.
I apologize. I read mine and I just didn't bring it with me, but I understand exactly. The only thing I just didn't have this right here. I mean, if everybody else wants,
You can start. I'm going to make
Okay, all right. I need one done.
I'll make copies.
Right. Do y'all want to wait, or you want to wait for her to come back?
Go ahead.
Okay, basically, on the most important thing that we do as an auditor is give an opinion. And on page 1 and 2 of the report, we have given you an unqualified opinion. However, on page 2, you will note that in the emphasis of matter paragraph, page 2, it talks about the consent agreement. And basically what it says is that you all volunteered to enter into a consent agreement because the governor declared that the township had a financial emergency. So basically, because you have a deficit in the police fund and the fire fund, you're in the consent agreement. That's why Mr. Burgess is representing the state treasurer's office as a consent consultant. But you basically, that's the only matter that I've put in here that was different than what the township had last year. And I think you all know you're under a consent agreement, and that's part of it. But that's part of the opinion. So other than that, you have an unqualified opinion. The financial statements that I looked at, everything was complete, was there, and I was able to audit that and give you an opinion. And you basically receive that. And that's the highest opinion you can receive. Because the opinion doesn't matter whether you have a deficit or a surplus, you still get, and the numbers have to be accurate. And basically you have received a unqualified opinion. Like I said, I told you all when I presented back in March that your report would be on time. As of today, this afternoon, all of your information is due to the state by 30th, has been given to the state. I already let them know that there's one page that's going to change. I told after the board meets tonight, I will submit that change page tomorrow. But in terms of the actual report, it's already in. The electronic information is already in. So they have everything. Even that one page that I changed, they have that electronically submitted. So your report is on time, yes.
I have a question. So the board doesn't have to approve the audit before it's sent in?
It's not a requirement. Your audit has to be filed by the auditor, by someone representing the township, and I'm the CPA of the township. So I submitted it. So if you all changed it, we would just resubmit it. You see what I'm saying? If you all would come up with changes tonight, anything major or significant, I would just resubmit it. It's like that page 11, I'm going to resubmit that page tomorrow to the treasurer's office. But officially, your report is already on file with the state treasurer's office. It'll be online for anybody who wants to go get a copy of probably sometime this week, like all the other townships. So if you want to change it, again, yes, sir.
And I agree with you too, Mr. Wilkerson. Is that once it's completed, it needs to go to Treasury. But all we really going to be doing tonight, Madam Clerk, is that we just concur with the audit recommendation. And if there's anything that we may not agree with in there, then again, this is when we said, okay, we can modify and change, such as this right here.
Right, exactly.
Pretty much okay on that.
I've already changed it, yes. So basically, unless it's something significant that as a board, you have to negotiate with me, that I have to agree to it. But actually, at the end of the day, the audit report belongs to the township, and I'm the author of the report. So it's already been submitted. I want you to go to page 13 and this is the crux of the matter. Page 13 basically is a balance sheet. It basically shows you how, why you're in a deficit. As of December 31st, you had a deficit of $447,750 as a deficit. Okay, that's what got you into this consent agreement situation. And primarily the deficit, if you look on page 13, if you had it in front of you, most of it is the police department. That's 477. You have a deficit in the police department of 477, 950. Then you also have a deficit in the fire department of 62,804. Those are the primary reasons that you have a deficit for the township. Once you get rid of those situations, I think this will go away. But later on in the report, in about a minute, I'm going to talk about the good news, some other information that you didn't have in the past that might shed some light on the township situation. On page 14, it's just a further breakdown of how the deficit is composed of. But again, it's police, fire, and there's a little bit of deficit going on in the other major funds, which is reported in the back of the report. But again, the bottom line is the deficit of $447,750. That's the deficit of the township. Now, you go to the good news on page 29, in the notes. Last year, when you all approved the audit, you didn't have a footnote regarding the retirement plan. Because had you had that, you might have made different decisions about where you were as a township. What happened when I got the actuarial report from the state, from MERS, the Michigan Retirement System, if you look on page 28, that's where the first noted that you have an unfunded accrued liability, which that, in your case, is overfunded. But we go to page 29, right now, state of Michigan, MERS department says that they owe you, that you're overfunded. What that means is that you should have only paid in over the years. This probably happened over a number of years. $2.2 million. That's all. When they say actuarial, for 21 people that are in the plan right now, these are retirees, people that are vested, and these are people that are already collecting money. All you needed to fund the plan was $2.2 million. However, right now you have assets in the plan of $4,592,000, which means that right now, based on those 21 people that are from the township, that you have a funding of $2,350,000. And that's been actually calculated by a CPA firm, by the state, which means that you have a right to try to get that money back. $2,350,000. That money came from the township. It came from the township. You only need, and if you think about what's going on in the city of Detroit right now with retirees and all that, it's just the opposite. Every other township, county, city is underfunded. Okay? And here you are sitting at the township with an overfunding of $2.3 million, which tells me that I think the other auditor didn't report this in the report. So if you all would have known that, you would have tried to get the money before now. Because it didn't just go, it didn't get here in 2013. It was already there. And the money, you paid it. You paid the money. You paid it altogether $4.5 million. All you owe was 2.2. Yes.
I hate to keep interrupting because I know you're making some valid point, but for them to say that we did, this board, prior board, before this board, we did pursue that. And I was surprised when you had mentioned that it wasn't in the last audit report.
It wasn't in there.
But we did pursue that, and it was stated that it wasn't enough for us to go and take out. Now when you say it was like 4.something million, I was proud to see some of brought it, but either he didn't look into it, he just said, okay, I can't do this, so I just say this and say that.
I don't know if he had to report it. Even when I looked at his submission to the state, he didn't mention it. When he mentioned that you all had a retirement plan, he had inaccurate information. But I don't want to go into his report because a lot of it was inaccurate. A lot of the report that you all approved last year was inaccurate. Half the report was inaccurate. But this information was not even in the report. And when I'm saying to you, this $2.3 million was certified by the state, by the actuarial consultant, by the CPA, the state of Michigan, everybody certified. So you have been funded at 260%. Unheard of. No county, no city, no township, and I've looked at other reports, have anything. They're underfunded. They owe money. In your case, you paid over 160% more than what you owe. And that money belongs to the township of rollover. Bottom line, ain't no discussion about it. There is no discussion.
How did you get it? We had made the attempt to get those funds last year.
Before that too.
How did you get it?
I don't know what the process is, but I know this. If you give me, if I loan you some money, and I don't owe you that much, I get my money back. I don't think the state is going to have any problems with trying to deal with that money because they've already acknowledged that you've overpaid. And it happened over a number of years.
None of the board members figured that in out all the time.
No, it's not really the board, this is supposed to be in the audit report. The auditor
Who
did
was
not
the
disclose
auditor?
it.
Who was the auditor?
R.C. Jones did not disclose in the last two reports that I looked at that you had overfunded.
Hello?
Excuse me, maybe I could.
Yes.
This is crazy.
Every year, the township has approached MERS and requested that all overfund actually accrued liabilities be refunded to the township. And last year, MERS, however, has not adopted a plan which says that municipalities that are overfunded, over 100% are entitled to a refund. MERS has adopted a rule which says that any municipality overfunded in excess of 130% of projected actually accrued liabilities is entitled to a refund. Therefore, last year, we obtained the 2012 fiscal year audit from MERS, their statements which they give to every municipality that's a MERS participating entity. And you're quite right that the township is entirely unique. The township is MERS' best customer.
Yes.
It's, they're like the shining example of how to run a pension system. But the township has not contributed to that pension system in years or made any contributions. But MERS has said last year that the township was ineligible for a refund because it was only overfunded at 126%. And therefore, we had done deficit elimination plans that said we should be entitled to at least everything above 115%. And MERS says, no, you're not entitled to anything because you're not up to 130%. And as you well know, most municipalities are struggling to get 70%.
Exactly.
So this year, because of MERS investments and the stock market, and also the number of persons in the system diminished, they did their 2013 audit, which was completed in June, just this month, which stated that we were in excess of like 168%, which triggers a obligation to refund the township $619,000. So that's sort of where we are, and I appreciate the difference, and your numbers are correct, but MERS has this excess they created for the township, I might add, because the first time we recovered money from MERS about 8 to 10 years ago, their policy was 115%.
Right.
And so we recovered everything in excess of 115%. Then they said, oh my goodness, they changed the numbers to 130% based on what their actuaries projected. And we've been climbing up to get in excess of that again. So yes, we are entitled to a refund. Yes, MERS is processing that. We obtain that without litigation, simply by negotiation and letting them know that they're holding our assets for the township. So the board's been well aware of this. The board has recovered from MERS over $2 million in the last 10 years. But we've been in this problem in the last 2 or 3 years that we couldn't get these monies to recover in order to avoid financial stress. So that sort of clarifies what's going on. So thank you for that.
Mr. Wells, okay, wait, okay, let me just say this. I know the supervisor's not in there, so I'm asking the residents, if y'all have any concerns, could y'all please wait till citizen comment? We'd like to finish the presentation and move on.
But it's
I understand that. I'm saying after you, sir. You're saying I don't want open discussion. That's all I'm saying, Mr. Wells. Okay. Y'all please,
I understand what's the question. Who's right?
Okay, well, I said you answer your question. After that, I respect that nobody else asking no question. Okay, could you answer this question? What was your question?
What's up? He gave one figure, and you gave a figure. Money that's owed to the township.
This is at December 31st.
Okay, so who's right? That's my only question.
Well, I guess
His figure's a lot lower than yours.
My point was that MERS had adopted a special resolution internally for MERS, which they probably don't even put up on their website.
Right.
And so your auditor is not aware of their internal resolution regarding overfunding.
So what I'm asking is who's right?
Well,
that's it. Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
I guess from my standpoint, if I look at his calculations, it's 70% of 2.3, which is $1.4 million. So again.
I like your
That
calendar.
the township has to look
You
into
better
again.
ask, you know what I'm saying?
I'm looking at December 31st, at the last year end, this is their report, you were overfunded 2.3 at that point. I don't know if they do actuarial calculation every month.
And I'm hoping you're right.
But it seems to me, at the end of the year, I'm just saying, from my standpoint, this is what I would have been saying in January. That was over to you. Now, if it went down since then, based on market value, whatever, then that's
All right.
another issue.
I'm
That's
good,
what
I'm
he
good,
said.
I'm good.
He said market value would have
I was
gone
down to
down.
know who's right, that's all.
And so, I would probably, you know, being a CPA myself, I would probably question that. And it's going up 206%, now at 168, I mean, come on. It's only been 5 months, it's only Joe Stogan. I wouldn't buy it, but I'm saying, that's up to the township. The last part of the report is the report to the board. This is really written for the board, the 7 of you, and it talks about how did the audit go. There are certain requirements we have to talk about. Actually, in general, the audit went very well. The hardest part really was getting information from third parties. So what happened, the township does not readily get everything from everybody. Oakland County, for example, runs the water and sewer department. In the past, the auditor, your last auditor had said it was part of the audit. Couldn't have been. Because you don't manage the water and sewer department. Oakland County Water Resource Department ran the water and sewer. He combined that information with your information, which was incorrect, because it makes it look like you don't have a deficit. So the water and sewer department has a $453,000 surplus. Now, if I take that 453 and add it with the 447 I talked about, right, you'd have a surplus. That's not what happened. You have that surplus, but it's maintained and managed by the Oakland County Water Resource Commission. So I took that out of the report and put it in supplemental information. You'll notice in the report. But again, the deficiencies that I found is that some of the entries were not made during the year. For example, there was a payroll on January 2nd that should have been included in 13, but it was included in 14. But we moved that back to 13, which increased the deficit. One of the things about the last auditor was very uncooperative, didn't give us anything. You have fixed asset records, okay? He didn't give us any of it. All we had to work with was what the information in the last audit report. Now that information belongs to the township that he was using. I'm talking about detailed fixed asset records of furniture, fixtures, vehicles, etc. The township did a physical inventory years ago, but nobody was able to find that. We were not able to get the detailed information, but using his audit report, we could come up with some estimate of what the depreciation should be. But again, that's something the township should pursue from the land. Anything that we get from you is your information. And I can say to you, the clerk that was good this year, they gave me copies of everything. Everything I requested, they gave me copies. There's nothing wrong with that. I saw the original document. They made copies and gave them to me, so you still have everything that I looked at, whether it was personnel files or whatever. They just gave me copies. That's what you're supposed to do. But with the fixed assets, he was given original documents in the past, and he never returned them, and refused to meet with us to return them. I'm talking about the infrastructure access vehicle. We don't have any data on what the makeup of those fixed assets are. And I'm suggesting that the township pursue the remedy by suing him or whatever to get your record. You had a question before? Another deficiency was that I've been auditing for 32 years. I've never seen so much inter-fund activity. When I talk about inter-fund, I'm talking about the general fund, police funds, fire funds, street lighting, etc. There's more transactions in this township than the township 5 times your size. And all that stuff has to be netted. And they don't net it, it's gross. It's like $1 million in inter-fund transactions. Due to this, due from that. And I think what I'm suggesting to the board is that in the future, when whoever the accountant is, when they want to do an inter-board and get approval for it, I think what would happen is the accountants and the people that work for you were just doing it. Right. They were just making entries and recording stuff all over the place. Now, you got over $1 million in transactions going between all the funds. And that's crazy. This township is not even that big. That's 1/3 of the revenue. So are they real liability? Not really. It's all inner fund. It's all inner between this fund, that fund, and it never got eliminated. Normally what people do, they make those entries, they eliminate those entries, and they're gone. At the end of the year, they don't even show up. But in this case, they all over. Employment file, we noticed that all the employment files, for example, they were not employment agreements for everybody. And I just wanted to make a note of that. You should have an employment agreement on everybody who works for the township. A lot of the data was in the software that they use for payroll, it should be available. I should be able to look at what does everybody make in a file, employment agreement. And the last point I made was the fund balance deficit. You know you have a large deficit, and basically that's why you have a consent agreement. But hopefully with your overfunding, you get that money, that deficit should go away. Basically, that concludes my report in terms of what I'm required to talk about, and basically I'll open the floor for any questions from the board.
Yeah, I got, I hit
Out of here. Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is, and it was hot, it's hot here. It works.
if any of the board members, excuse me, if any of the board members have any comments that, they would like to make with our audience, now's the time to, ask any questions or any concerns you guys have. All right.
Everything I said is already been said.
Sir?
It was a very thorough report. I went over it, and I like some of the revised comments that you made that wasn't done in the past. R.C. Jones did not do a lot of things that he should have.
Right.
And he was negligent. And that's why we used to charge him a late fee. But this year, last year, he didn't care if the sun rose and shine. And that's how we got into this worse predicament than what we were. But going through this report is very thorough as far as I'm concerned. I can understand it as a board. And the Murray's Fund, we made an attempt to get those funds, so we wouldn't be in the predicament that we were in. But then after we were identified by the state as being a financial thing, then MERS came through for us.
Right, but I think the 619 you talked about, that's an interpretation, I guess. When I look at the actuary report, they do annually, they only do it once a year. But anything in the middle, I wouldn't rely on that. I'm saying that's December 31st report is what I would rely on, from my perspective, as a CPA. They said it, not me, that you overpaid by $2.3 million. Now, that sounds like smoke and mirrors to me. You go from December and say you overfunded 2.3, you get down to May and say, well, it's 168%. How does that happen? They should be fired. If there's nothing else, they should be sued for negligence. How can you invest the money and be 2.3 million over, then you down to 619,000? My calculation said they owed you $2.1 million, 2.3.
You didn't base it on an actually approved liability audit for 2013 because that wasn't out until January this year.
That's what I had. No.
June of this year, you had the 2012.
No, I had 13, December 13. No.
Well, then you have to do the 135 calculation.
I know, I'm saying that 70% of the 2.3 is 2.1 is $1.4 million. That's what I'm saying. Even if I take the 130%,
well, that's because section 10 of the plan, there's a section that is allocated to the housing commission.
right.
And the housing commission is overfunded in excess of 200%. However, the township never contributed a single penny to the housing commission MERS pensions.
Right.
So we are not able to
not all of
include
it,
that
right,
amount in
right,
the
right.
numbers that brings it down further.
Right.
And HUD, if those monies are released, they're going to go back to HUD.
Right.
They're not going to come to the
That makes sense. So there's the township and,
so,
and
yeah,
the,
sorry,
and the
neglected
housing.
to mention that the
Right.
housing commission
That's part of
is
it.
excluded from the entire
Right.
computation.
Okay.
Which, if it was, we could have got something last year.
I understand. So 619 is nothing to think about. I think that, the deficit was 447, 750. You got 619 coming back, so that's
So you agreeing with them?
no, I'm not agreeing. Not at all. I'm acknowledging.
Who's right?
I don't know what the right answer is. That's a research project. What he's saying is that he said his calculation took into account that part of the overage is part of the housing and the township.
Okay, you sound great. I like what you're saying. But then when I ask you the question, who is right, you kind of lean toward his answer.
No, I'm not really toward anything. His answer is based on the housing, part of the money is housing commission, part of the money is the township. The 2.3 represents all of it. It's not a breakdown in my report on how it's broken down between the township and the township in general, which includes housing. Well, it would have to be a negotiation between the housing commission and the township to figure out how much belongs to each one of the entities.
So his figure is
I'm an auditor. I audit numbers. So until I can audit a number,
oh, well, so okay, I got you.
I'm saying.
So you got to look over what he's saying.
I'll have to audit it. Right.
Is that going to happen?
No, that's not part of this audit. This audit is complete. And he's saying for 14, that's what he's talking about. When you look at that calculation.
So, but the amount from your audit is higher.
No, that's for the township. That's
For next year.
owed to the township as of December 31st. That includes the housing commission, the housing employees, and the township employees. 2.3 was the total at December 31st, 13. Now, they've done something with the MERS, but they're saying that the township, not the housing, that their portion of it is 619. Now, we owe you that now. Out of the 2.3, they said that 619.
So that's definitely the 619. The monies that you're talking about,
That's different.
you got to work on that.
I'm saying that's 2014 money. This is as of December 31st, 13.
Okay.
For like six, but
You're
MERS
6
doesn't
months
do its
in.
audit until 6 months after the close of the year, so we just received, you know, he says we received the audits in January and June of this year.
Right.
Saying as of December 31st of last year, this was the situation.
Right.
So, but I can put you in touch with people at MERS and you can talk to them about.
No, that's not required for you to pay attention. All is complete. My report is for itself. It's all in here.
That is so confusing.
At December 31st, my report is, I'm shocked.
You're not that one. It's just meeting.
That's how it's for.
Okay, maybe it's me.
Can you, what I would like, you know, could you go back to 11? I'm just trying to get, because I know you just gave me 11,
Right.
page 11. Could you just, that says right here, could you just run back through it again? Because I didn't catch all this. I know you had brought it up.
Now, page 11 had it over on the DDA, which was not in that audit. Page 11,
Right, page 11.
that information was changed, because it was overstated when I first did it. When I go to the state to fill it in, I went back and looked at it again, and this is the actual amount for the Downtown Development Authority. I've already recommended to the supervisor that the Downtown Development Authority have a separate audit. They should be audited, and not just give a trial balance and give information at the end of the year. But that's, I don't know if that's within the scope of this board, but the board should request that they have an audit as well. Because there's like one or two people signing checks or whatever, they send a report over, have done, but again, they should be audited. That's public money that they use. They get money from the township, and they should be audited just like the township was.
Because the money they get is our taxes.
Exactly, they get money from the township, so I don't understand why they're not being audited separately. They should be audited. I mean, bank confirmations, you know, audits of the expenditures, everything. We put the information in sort of supplemental, but they should have a separate audit every year. Every year. Just like the township does.
And last question, I had to stay transfer, and you said that was just, that's what really woke me up, not saying that I was asleep. No, but when you had mentioned that, I was saying, boy, and I guess from your conversation and what you were saying, I guess maybe this has been more than 7, 8 years. It's just been some time. You know,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
From what you
But
were
what I
saying.
understand, these transfers have been reported for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And they keep growing. You know, one fund, one loan money to the other fund, and you know, it's too much. It's excessive. It's excessive. It's excessive. And I think somebody has to go in and clean it up. Internally, within the township.
Right. I know he taking notes, of course.
But somebody has a big job. You got to go in and clean all this stuff up, because it's all over the place. Money transfer from public safety to, you know, GDA or DDA or whatever.
It's glad fight police. And I know that this year, that I know that looking at those numbers, that probably will show up until next year. Probably payment for both county share and we own.
Right.
That has been paid.
Right.
So like to say that will show, but it's still showing a different
Deficit
for
is
this year.
31st.
But next year it will show different.
Right. And then 14 will probably be a separate audit. You're talking about getting that 619,000, that these deficits have been paid off. So it's going to be a totally different picture. Okay? And I would think now that we're on the right track, I would think this audit should be done a month early. You probably should have this in May next year. And every year should be earlier. That way, the quicker you can make decisions as a board about what you want to pursue or whatever, you know?
And I'm not speaking for the whole board, but I guess, you know, everybody is sitting there taking notes from you this as well. But I want to personally thank you you know, for the time, you know, and completing everything, getting everything in there. And like it was mentioned at our last board meeting, supervisor was that this is the first time, well, not the first time, but in so many years that the audit was complete satisfaction to the state. So that had happened. I know we are putting this here consent agreement. Hopefully the state will take a second look at a lot of things that are going on and some things that we need to have done or input in. And I'm hoping that they will consider that issue. That's a start there. Today is a start to that's my opinion.
Absolutely. As I told the supervisor, I said, you have to demand from professionals, you know, that you have somebody, whoever you hire, just be whoever, that they meet the deadline. I mean, that's a minimum, because normally if you late, they take money from you. And so that don't even make sense, because it's not like it's that difficult where everything is not available. Everything that I needed from the clerk, from the treasurer, everybody was really giving me the information. But that said to me that there's no reason why this should have been late in the past.
I didn't know.
Taking questions from the audience.
Oh, no.
Well, can I touch on what you just said? Oh, well, I would like to.
Excuse me, I announced that question. Citizens comments, citizens comments.
I just I want to agree with you. What he's saying is right, but you've been told what it is.
Yes,
Jeez.
yes. Board minutes, disturbing.
With this 2% budget amendment, should that be, or come before the board?
Absolutely. It should be approved by the board.
Even though we have a consent agreement, consultant down here, we have to report, get consent from the state and the consultant before we can make any budget amendments.
That's a new legal issue. You're talking about with the consent agreement. I don't understand the power. I'm not an attorney. I can't give you advice on those situations. I think you have to talk to your attorney about that. About what you can do and can't do under the consent agreement. But typically, when you have budget amendments, the board has to approve those in order to put those in the record. Remember, now having a consent agreement is different. The rules change.
Right.
Rules change.
Right.
Okay, my question was concerning the point you brought up about the water.
Yeah.
That should have been a part of our audit.
Right.
As the auditor was making the product, they control all of that as far
All
as
of it. Water and sewer. All the activity.
we ain't really getting no information on that.
Well, you did get information, but he included it as though. If you look at last year's report, you'll notice on the statement of net position, he has it all included. So if you looked at the fund balance, it would appear that you really didn't have a deficit, because there's a surplus of 500-some thousand last year in the water and sewer department. And he said that you all operated the water and sewer department, and you didn't. That information had to come from the water resources. They send a quarterly report every quarter to the township, and it's unaudited.
Right.
That's why it's not audited. It's just supplemental information in the report. And I talked to them more than once. I said, is it audited? Is it audited? No. So unless we audit something, we don't put it in there like we audit.
So they just give us a figure,
Right.
but it's not broken down to what it's what.
Well, yeah, they give you revenue, expenditures, they give you a balance sheet, but it's not audited.
Okay.
Unaudited information is not audited. When we say we audit something, that means that we certify it. We're not certifying the water and sewer information that's in here. And I made it very clear that information was not managed by the township. It came from the Water Resource Commission of Oakland County. And it was not audited. I asked them for it. They do not do an audit of each township that's part of the Water Resource Commission. They just say financial data.
Right.
Which we put in the report of supplemental data. Supplemental. Not part of the primary government.
Their entire fund of all municipalities in the county, they audit that.
Yes,
And they
totally. But they don't audit each, for example. So again, these are the type of issues that as an auditor, and so okay, but how accurate is it? If it's not audited, how accurate is it? Do I know? Do you know?
No.
So somebody should basically question them. How come we don't get audited information?
Right.
At the end of their year, they probably have an audit of the whole Water Resource Commission, but they're sending you data and saying this is your information.
Right.
Now, how do we know it's not more than that or less than that? We don't know.
Right.
That's why it's just supplemental information. Same with the DDA. The DDA gives me a trial balance, but it's not audited.
Right.
I included it as supplemental information, but I'm saying if you want information that's accurate, it's got to be audited.
Okay.
You go to the bank to borrow money, they don't want to hear nothing about no unaudited information. You want to borrow $1 million, they want to see an audit, a CPA firm says it's certified, this is accurate.
Right.
This is what it is. So if you don't have audited information, all you can do is put in here supplemental information. And water and sewer is one of theirs. You know, but he included it in the past as though it was all part of the township primary government, and it wasn't.
Right.
It was always, and I looked at 3 years before, so it was always presented that way.
It can only be included, your opinion is it only can be included if it is individually audited.
It has to be audited. Even if another firm did it, even if a CPA firm other than mine audited the information, if we get an audit report, we can make notice that it's audited information from another CPA firm. That this information is for the township, but it was audited by Plant Moran or whoever, and we note that and put that in there as part of the audit. That means they looked at those expenditures, they looked at those revenue, they certified it, and it's not good, it's good information. Like the MERS report, that's the actual, you know, that's been audited, they looked at it, and when you get it, it's a report for everybody gets a report. And I know as board members, you don't really think about audited, unaudited, but as an auditor, that's what we look at. Was it audited, was it unaudited?
It's important because you want to go.
You can't, if it's not audited, you can't rely on it.
Right.
Any other questions from the board?
Board members? Okay, thank you, Mr. Wilkerson.
You're welcome.
Okay, board, down to number 2, to approve or disapprove the 2013 audit.
Good evening.
Board, may I have a motion to approve or disapprove the 2013 audit?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the 2013 audit.
It's been moved by moved by Ford, supported by Owens to approve the 2013 audit.
Ford,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Owens, Harmon, yes. Clark,
Yes.
Quigley, yes. Motion carried.
Okay. Item number 3, approve or disapprove a resolution concerning the payout of MERS assets. I'd like to table this. Can I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we table item 3 concerning payout of MERS assets.
It's been moved by Ford, supported by Owens to table item number 3.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nay?
I have a question, but
Item number 4, approve or disapprove the contract of Latoya McElroy, consent agreement coordinator as an independent contractor. Did everyone get a copy of their contract for her? Did everybody? I guess when we had they were here at the Saturday meeting.
I didn't get them because I wasn't here.
You all want to just take a few minutes?
Is the person here? She gonna be introduced to us? Is the person here? Madam Chairman?
Oh.
Okay, we have, well, welcome. What's your name, Latoya? Tanya. Okay, welcome to Royal Township.
Everybody.
You ain't gonna like it. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
For real. I've been all my life. I'm back. Now, I will, but I will ask Mr. Burks or Mr. Latanya, is there anything that you would like to say as far as concerning your duties, what you're doing for the township? We have the agreement in front of us.
It's primarily those items that's in the contract.
It's original.
Lord, excuse me, to the citizens, I'll read a couple of her duties. Matter of fact, I'll just read number 3 duties. During the term of the contract, the contractor will serve as the confidential assistant to the consent agreement consultant and will perform powers, duties, functions, and responsibilities assigned to the confidential assistant to the consultant, to the consent agreement consultant, under the terms of this contract, to assist the consultant in fulfilling the goals and objectives of the consent agreement. contractor under this contract include, but are not limited to, serve as a confidential assistant to the consultant, coordinate correspondence and communication between the consultant and the state of Michigan, assist in the execution of daily tracking of a 30-day payment of valid invoices, monitoring of the per approval payment process, and preparing the list of all bills to be paid for review by the township board, assist in administration and implementation of all measures intended to fulfill the terms of the consent agreement between the township and the state of Michigan, assist in researching ownership of all vacant lots and vacant homes within the township to ensure all publicly incurred property maintenance expenses are applied to the property owner's tax obligations, assist in writing and implementing requests for proposals, provide general administration support to the consultant, other assignments as identified by and coordinated with the consultant.
Can we get copies of that?
Yeah.
Well, read one. I like that.
And it also states that she will be paid by the state.
Most important.
The state won't. She will not be paid by the town.
Lord?
This is a confidential assistant to you, Mr. Burgess. So does she have any duties to report or any obligations to the board?
No, not to the board.
Okay, not to the board, so the board should expect her to be communicating with her. And any communications would come through you, I would assume, to the board, just so we have our lines of communication. That would be good. She's pretty white. Sorry, that supervisor. She came out maybe she
I have experience in payroll and payroll. I do have experience in auditing. So whatever the CPA is saying, that is correct. I want to treat my position as if I was an auditor and making sure that everything is like policy and procedure and doing everything correctly. That's part of my duty, with the board. Okay?
I am so impressed with this township. I'm born and raised out here. And I am very upset. I am very upset with the way the board is handling this. My mother was born and raised here. And see the township going like this? Yeah. I don't understand it. Y'all just sit there and vote for anything and don't know what you're voting for. This is so embarrassing.
Citizens' comments to be soon after this vote. Board, may I have a motion to approve or disapprove the contract of Latanya McElroy, consent agreement coordinator as an independent contractor? Oh, excuse me, yes. The term, I'd like to add the term in there. A 12-month term beginning June 30th, today. Well, actually, we'll have to approve it for tomorrow, July the 1st, 2014, and ending July 1st, 2015.
So why do we have to push it out to July 1st?
June 30th. Like it is. We leave June 30th, 2021. Will it be through June 30th?
Unless extended or terminated earlier under provisions of this That would be the
That's not. But wouldn't that be on this is a special meeting, wouldn't that be on the agenda already?
So she didn't start today, actually. How did she start without knowing?
Because she asked.
You're just ratifying, you're just ratifying.
It's already in the contract, the beginning and the ending date. She's already agreed. Today we want to. You accept that? Okay, that's what I'm going to call according to this contract. It's been reported as an independent contract. The contract starts June 30, 2014, end on July 1st, 2014, 2 to 3 month period. Extension through 2015, and a 2 to 3 month period beyond the original expiration date. So the company did a motion. Extension from
Okay, board, we had motions. Are we waiting for vote?
yeah. Ford,
Yes.
Thurman, yes. Only, Harvey,
Yes.
Swan,
Yes.
Brinkman, yes, motion
Okay.
carried.
We are down to citizens' comments.
I got one.
This is the portion of the meeting where we get to ask any questions.
I want to thank you for cutting the grass at the rec. And I got one little quarrel though, because the part in the middle really needs to be cut because the grass is really covering the swing. So we can get somebody, because I look and see that the recreational was cut, that one block is not cut, but the front. I even seen Michael cut another field today. So the kids would like to play. You know, my children would like to enjoy the park. I would like to enjoy the park, and they really can't. The grass is really too high, and the grass is at the swing, covering the swings. So I appreciate that. As well as listening to your agenda tonight, I have a couple of questions because I was under the impression that since this is a special meeting, when you don't have a full board there and you have a special meeting with the agenda items already present on the piece of paper, even with tabling an item, you can't really table an item unless all members are present. And I need some clarification in that because I didn't understand how that's done if the whole board is not present. It's a special meeting. And then also to add a term to number 4 when it's not listed here on the agenda. Can that be even done? I understand you all did it and carried it, but can it be done legally? Can anybody answer that?
I couldn't answer that. The agenda was not modified for this no action on the item 3. Generally, the law says you cannot add to, or certainly cannot add to an agenda item unless all members are present and we agree. So that was not done. That was why we went to the table. That was the decision of the board on that agenda item. We still remain on the agenda item.
So,
Maybe I'm not understanding this right from what you said. With what you said that the board is not supposed to add an item, but for, it says clearly, you added a term to this agreement, and what I'm reading, I didn't read that written, and that's why I'm asking the question, because I'm a little bit puzzled.
Which number are you on?
We're at number 4, approving and disapproving the contract with Toya, and because I believe that she had the term in there, saying July 1st.
Okay, she did, because we discussed that, but the fact is, this is an agenda, it's not an itinerary of every action. The stuff, the details of all these actions. The goal of the agenda is to provide the public notice that, in fact, these matters will be taken up at a special meeting. But it doesn't have to contain every detail. Given this opinion in the past, as it turned out, the resolution number 4 that was adopted relating to the term said that the consultant was retained according to the exact agreement which had been submitted previously.
And that's why I just need clarification, because that's a little bit confusing. That's the for too, and I don't know what it is.
The only thing she did was just add the date on it, which I had acted. She didn't add the date till the motion that was made on there, but it wasn't nothing that that was just a date on the effective when, because we could vote on this with the effect that it will be next week,
Well,
next month.
I thought it was still should have been made it written, so we could read it, especially if you're adding, because when you make that motion, that's going to be written in, when you put or written
Well,
right for the minutes.
but the agenda says we're going to deal with the contract for Tanya McElroy, I apologize. And so the board took up the contract of Tanya McElroy. Whether or not they didn't want this term or that term, or this clause or that clause, they could have discussed that all night long. But they couldn't have discussed the contract of, somebody else. They couldn't have discussed Mr. Wilkinson's contract. I noticed that this was going to be discussed, and some people might have said, I want to go to that meeting and hear that. So,
Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry.
I want to talk about the code enforcement out there. I don't know what y'all plan on doing with it, but I get it in the morning. I'm coming to the county. I see stuff other people don't see. Like the family of raccoons and skunks across Westfield to go into that sofa that's sitting out there on that field, right in the corner of Westfield Coconut. Okay, now anybody knows furniture and stuff sitting out in the lot is going to draw these types of rodents and things. And we got to talk to the rest of it now. But just to give you an idea, we got a photo enforcement out there. I don't know exactly what you're saying, but if you were to go out there right now, I went at 7:30 before I came up here. The grass and all the parks need to be cut. And I know that's not her job, that's our maintenance crew people. The grass at the rec center that she said was cut needs to be cut again because it was so high that, when grass gets so high, all of a sudden the ladies don't actually pick it up. Then you got 8 Mile and Miles over at the hotel with that fence. If y'all ever get in, that's the code enforcement officer that should be investigating. But if you ever get them to clean it up, you can probably find some bodies over there. I mean, that stuff, no kidding. The weeds over there behind that hotel is this high. That high. And if she was doing her job, they would have been ticketed a long time ago, many times. Lions between Pasadena over there. Again, here we are coming up on the holiday weekend. People got family coming in. And this is what we got to look at. But then, out of curiosity, I started looking at something else. The town of Chapal back here on North End Wyoming. The fenced-in area back there, but all that junk, it can never be used. You got an old ambulance or something, that's got grass growing up in it,
It's been sitting there so long. It don't make sense that they haven't cleaned that area out. I mean, this is stuff that the township should do. So how can you tell Mr. Welcher to do, Ms. Gibson what to do with her property when we're not doing anything with ours? Because that's township property. Then I run by some of your elected officials' house. If I thought y'all would do, I would volunteer to be the code enforcement officer. Because I'm going to tell you now, you can't write no tickets to nobody out there as long as your elected officials are keeping their property the way they are. And I'm telling you, we got 3 people sitting on this board that if the code enforcement officers doing their job, they'll all be in trouble. That's all.
That last meeting that we had, wasn't it something about a park being broke out? Because I remember Mike was out at the rec center with a regular lawnmower trying to mow the lawns and stuff. And we were waiting on a cart or something for the truck. Did we ever get it?
What happened with that is I did do a budget amendment. It was approved by the board. There was a typo on it, so it did not get certified. And that particular piece of equipment got away. So, I mean, but when are we going to get it? We can't. It got away.
So there is only one part in the whole state of Michigan?
No, this was not a part, no. Excuse me, it's a particular lawnmower, the one that they used to cut the grass real close, and that lawnmower broke. It would have costed more to repair it. We found one for $1,700. I went through everything that was supposed to have been done to get this piece of equipment. It did not get put into the budget because of the typo that was on the same thing as like tonight's typo. It's gone. Where the township has been sold, taken away, or something else, we just wasn't able to get it. So,
well, you know, to finish what I was going to say,
I didn't get a chance. At the last board meeting, I did have the board for RFPs for code enforcement officer, and I found out we can do it in a less expensive way, and we will be starting on that RFPs. The code enforcement officer will be submitting her letter of resignation very soon.
What about that resident there at the township property? I mean, that's a snap on the arm. And that was because you're the elected official, that is township property. That you've got an abandoned motor home, an abandoned ambulance, and all this other stuff that's been sitting there at least 15 years. And then you got the township employees with, if you look at their yard, you probably got enough money and fines right there to get out of it together. It doesn't matter what the books with the others
to finish what I was saying, and to piggyback on what the others were saying, I said previously, months, probably last year, there are communities across the state that's in Detroit, being our closest neighbor, that's having the same problem. And the citizens have gotten fed up. It's on TV all the time. People are getting together and just handling their business, street by street, block by block, doing what they got to do. And I said, laugh and keep on saying it. It's easy. Not to put on this room and all that. But it's easy, Mr. Wells, I'm not saying nothing to you, but it's easy to pick out the wrongs when it's something as simple as people I've seen. My neighbor who's in the hospital, Johnny Carroll, she took care of the lot next to her. She's 60-something years old. She got out there, and instead of just doing hers at her property line, she went on an angle and cleared it back. Mike half the time didn't even have to come over there because she got her nephew. I went across the street in the wintertime. I do my street. I do all the older women. I do it. Sometimes you got to do what's up in here in order to get things moving. And we got enough young men running the streets, and it's young men running the streets, older men, older men, my brother Mo, the one next door, his older retired neighbor. You got to do what you got to do. And the township ain't going to do it. You got ambulance trucks and all that mess piled up. It takes money to have somebody come in and tow and get rid of it. We don't want to raise our taxes, but we want all this stuff done. I'm hoping now that we have a little help sitting to my right, that things are going to be corrected, records are going to be corrected, money is going to be found, and we can start prioritizing the things that we want done, and they will get done. I have faith that now that we are out of the picture and we got professionals, it will get done. Board don't have nothing to do with it. These two right here got a whole lot to do with it, because it's oversight over them. And I appreciate it. So we gonna see. Mr. Jackson, thank you, Mr.
I'd like to say something. I've been wanting to say something for a long, long time. And I hope that people don't get the impression, well, maybe I'm just rough. But it's hard to sit here and that BS of, I want to say, I want to speak my mind, but I'm trying to hold it in. That guy stood up there, and everything that he said has been said for years. And all of a sudden, because he's so eloquent and articulate in how he delivered it, everybody up there is eating it up, That was hard to take. As far as what you're saying, I have no problem. I pick up trash all around me. I have no problem with that. But when people are getting paid to perform a service, and I'm not pointing any fingers at anybody because they don't have the equipment to work with, but it all falls back to right up there. And why is it that they don't have the equipment? Why is it that they can't get equipment repaired? Why is it that they can't go out and get equipment far better and more up to date than what they use? If we got all this money that these people are talking about, that's what bothers me. All that other stuff, I care neither here or there about it. But, if you insult my intelligence, I'm not the brightest light in this room, but don't insult me. And that's, I'm starting to get insulted with the way people are reacting to what people are saying. As far as this lady here, there should have been no objection. There shouldn't have been any discussion about it, because you're not paying for it. What is the problem? I've seen people come up here and get $10,000, $12,000 like that. So what was all the discussion about? Somebody from the state coming down here to help us. Somebody that knows what they're doing. That's the problem. That is the problem. I said it before, I'm going to say it tonight in front of everybody in here. All of y'all need to step down. Everybody, the attorney, everybody. There's somebody up there that knows what they're doing. And that's what it is. You can sit there and come back and do what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is true. I'm just saying to you, why don't you run? I didn't make it. Right now, I didn't make it. I'm not ran. I got more involved in what's going on up there. Don't tell me I'm not doing what and I'm not talking about, I'm not putting you out, mister. I'm talking about everybody. You made an act.
That's disrespectful.
I'm talking about the I just speak on any single individual. I'm saying but what I'm saying is, man, you got people that's coming here to help us. Try to work together instead of criticizing, You said I'm not finished. And that's the problem there. When somebody says something that makes no sense, you want to shut them up. I'm right, y'all. I want some of you guys. Okay? See what all you gotta do is listen to what some of the suggestions that I make from the audience as a taxpayer.
I'm trying not to make this too loud. Please, let's have support.
It's citizen comments, isn't it?
Yes.
Or am I not making my comment? He's interrupting me. Don't direct it at me.
Calm down.
Right. I'm the one talking. He interrupt me. That's my name. And I'm a taxpayer out here. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm a taxpayer too.
Well, then act like it. All of y'all. And you do. And what?
I'm going to have to adjourn this meeting if you can't.
But I'm the one making a comment.
I'm going to have to adjourn this meeting.
You talk for hours.
That's I know because Brandon was antagonized.
She need to be checking him. She need to be. She the chair. She need to be checking him for.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
I'm kind of piggybacking on some of what they said about community getting together and, doing stuff. That is not going to happen. I think about 2 months ago, I came up with the fact of, why don't we have a community that we all get together and we clean, we just get together and go from block to block and we do that. That was never put on the agenda. That was never, nothing never came of that. It's kind of like we're coming to the meetings and there's no accountability. Because we talk about the same old things and nothing happens. All I want to do, I don't need nobody from the state to come down and tell us what we need to do. We should have been doing it. All we need to do, now we got somebody who has to really be accountable to. This should have never got this far. All I'm saying is that so they're here to help, then let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Because the state says we can't do it alone. So all I'm saying is that we need to work together as a community. Forget about what happened yesterday. Let's move forward. Okay, we got an issue with the parks not being done. Put that on. You got people that work for the township. Hey, today you got to do this part. You got to get them some accountability. When I don't do my work at my job, they get rid of me. They get rid of fat. So I don't care how much we love the people we work for and they live out here with us. If they're not doing what they're supposed to do, then cut the fat. That's the bottom line, union or not, because we have to do something. Okay, another thing that I don't like is that we never get any communication on what's going on out here. No, the citizens don't know when the meeting's coming. All we hear stuff. I don't have Comcast, so I'll never know when the meeting is. But all I'm saying is that we need some type of newsletter that will let us know this is where we need to go. If we pay our taxes here, if we need to do this here. We need to be able to know some type of communication in this township where we can do some things, where the people that are concerned, maybe you get more turnout at the meetings if they have more communication. But I think it's like that for a reason, so that we don't know what's happening. But I think all I'm saying is that I grew up with everybody out here. Everybody sitting at this table. I know them. It ain't nothing personal when I come to the meeting and you guys think that I'm ragging on you. I just want you to do your job. But I say that to say this. From this point on, let's just work together. Let's just do what we have to do to move our community forward. That's all I'm saying. I don't care what happens here. Let it stay here. When you walk out that door, know that change has to come. That's all I'm saying. Do something that's going to bring something here. Something better. Some type of business that we would never thought would come here. And that can happen. But we have to dream and live that dream. We're not dreaming here. We're just pointing fingers. She did it. She did it. I would like to see 8 Mile cleaned up. Because I want my community to look like something. I don't want Kroger to look like we're just another black community. I want to look like somebody else too. And here is another thing too. We always hear about Carlstad, Grandstad. Carlstad is beautiful. And we look like crap over here. And we all pay taxes. Give us some of what they get. That's all I got to say.
That's the reason why that's the reason why around this building looks good as it does.
My thing is, like
Gotta wake up.
I know about cleaning up things, like they was talking about ain't no way gonna find the young people to clean up. That's one over three, they're not gonna do it. I get out there, I clean up in front of my house about every day. My friends come out there, they cut the car, before the sun gets down, throw it out in the back house. But I still get out there the next morning and pick up all that paper in front of my house, sweep the curb and everything. And that's because I got pride about where I live. And I didn't keep my neighbors. So people got to be willing to help where you can. I mean, I can't do like I used to do, but I can do what I can do. And I just think that people should work together. I mean, there's no way you go anything with everybody. But the one thing I do, that code enforcement, I like to do what she does. I see us sitting down here on North End.
We just voted to have Mr. Jim Wright go to Oak Park Court and be assigned the numbers so that he can write our court. He's now our coordinating officer. And I will be doing RFPs for code enforcement, but I found out there's a website called MIT, and you can do this for free as opposed
I just want to say that I'm very upset about how the board has been run for the last 20, 30 years. I'm going to take it back that far. I am very disappointed in who I voted for. I have grandkids that go to school out there now. And they got to look at this. I had to come up here the other day to ask me for somebody to fix the bench because my nephew was playing baseball and the bench was torn. Kids had nowhere to sit at. So Sandy finally fixed it. That bench was sitting there like that because school was out. We had praise in the park summer. Breeze was singing and bugs and stuff in the grass. I was very embarrassed. Mayor Southfield was here. She saw that. I was very embarrassed. Because I pay taxes. And I've been paying taxes for the last, like 25, 30 years. I was very embarrassed. I talked to my daughter the other day. I said, nothing's changed. She's been gone 17, 18 years. This is very embarrassing. When I'm at work, I tell people I live in Birmingham. I don't live in North County. I tell them I live close to 9 miles away because I'm so embarrassed. When I see stuff on the news about the township, I sit there and I cry. Because my mother was born and raised out here. I was born and raised out here. My kids was born and raised out here. Nothing's changed. This is a sad situation. You had got the state that had to come down here and tell you people what to do and how to control the township, which that shouldn't have to happen. We in 2014. Township is a mess. And you want kids to, when they grow up and graduate from college and buy a house out here? Come on. You don't have no police protection no more. You don't have no fire department no more. Early covers all that. Nothing's changed, and this is 2014. I am so embarrassed.
Can I say one? I'm sorry, Shane. Can I make one comment? Can I just make one? It kind of upsets me that, yes, 30 years, 20 years, whatever, but we're surrounded by municipalities, cities that are much larger than us. No, but I'm saying, no, you don't. That's why I'm about to point it out. The people you see sitting up here, you saying that's your friends and your neighbors, we are a township. We cannot go outside of our township to find accountants and all of these people that you want to come in, be voted in, hit the ground running, and know what they're doing. No, we don't have that. Ferndale has people that have PhDs. They are not because they don't live here.
Why not?
Why not? They're gone. Just like every other thing.
Why
They're
not?
gone. They don't live here.
Well, how come you
They
can't?
haven't lived
Well, how come you
here.
can't?
They can get
How come she can talk and then when I say something, you go to banging it up? No, but it's for the meeting. Everybody should be involved.
I don't think you should take this so personal.
I'm not taking it personal. I'm taking it personal when I say everybody should be involved.
I'm not going to argue.
If we had something to trouble, we had to move on.
The certification on the elevator is 4 months overdue. Last year it was overdue. I got some petitions and talked to some people and they finally researched. Here we are again this year. That certification ran out February the 28th and this is July 1st.
He was at our last board meeting. They usually come to our board meeting, someone from Ferndale. So,
I brought that to his attention. I brought that to his attention. And it's just a matter of time. But like I explained to him when we were talking, that should have been been recertified since it has expired. They said he will be looking into it. I looked at it again, no, this hasn't been done. I'm going to find out tomorrow why it has not been done. But I did talk to him about it.
Can I get that statement without disrupting anything? And this is the people, as you say, piggyback on what you said. One reason why people won't move, we're not attracting the people that you was talking about. There's nothing out here to attract them. You know, if you got to build home, and I know some professional people that would love to come back here, but there's nothing to move back to. You know, and then when somebody says that, are you taking it personal? Yes. I'm asking you that because of your reaction to what I said.
Because, I was
And his reaction to what I said.
Are you asking me, do you want me to answer?
Yes, please.
Mr. Welch, sitting here on this board, I'm hurt every day. I wanted to be part of the building up process. I was part of the tearing down process. We demolished, since I've been on board, we have demolished all of these homes. That was my purpose, to be a part of a building up process. When it came up, we were supposed to be the board that developed. We haven't even developed. Do you know how hard?
I agree with you.
I don't want to run it. I'm being honest. This has been an embarrassment to me to be a part of this. It has been an embarrassment on how I've had to act, had to fight, how I've had to plan, how I've never. So yes, I am truly embarrassed. I wanted to be a part of some politics. I'm not.
Can I ask a question of the entire board? Why is it that you're not receptive when people make suggestions about, you know, a lot of different things around it as far as making improvements? You know, and you say, I'm taking stuff personally. Just like I agree, there's only two guys working out here, and they got inferior equipment to work with. Why not correct that? But hold on, but I know that I made some solutions to get equipment that you could have got a long time ago.
Mr. Welch, do you understand?
I do.
I know, look.
Yes, I do.
It is a fight. Everything on this board. I mean, everything is a fight. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, can I say this? In response to what you're saying, we're bringing it up right now. And instead of pointing fingers all the time, try to have some constructive conversation amongst not only the board, the residents. Because we got some ideas. Obviously, the ideas that you guys have didn't work. It ain't working. Yeah, but it's, everybody, that young lady over there comes up with some good ideas. I know she rubs people the wrong way, but it's a lot of positive stuff. Well, we being for real now, and that's what's been wrong. This whole community, all these people that sit here, we ain't been for real. We have not been for real. And it's time to be for real. Because we're going down the tube. And man, I didn't direct nothing at you personally. I said the whole board. You guys, the whole board. The board is not working together. I understand, man, but just let me finish. The board, you make some good suggestions, man. And when you make them, I agree with you. But when you don't, I don't. We same way with Philly. But you guys don't work together. And it's obvious to everybody out here. Do you think they work together? All right then. That's an old way. Jeez, and I take it personal.
I just think, this is just me, coming to the meetings and trying to make something out of this. I feel like we're in a Democratic, Republican race. Some get along, some don't. Some vote for certain issues, some don't. When all our differences should be put aside because you guys should be working for us. It should be what's best for the community, not for how you guys feel about each other. It needs to be a wholehearted thing. Like, okay, they need their lawns cut. Okay, they need some things going on. We need the kids to have somewhere to play. We need the community building to look like something because if you don't have no place for the kids to go, they're going to be out here disrupting somebody else's where they live. All I'm saying is that we need, as a community, you guys, just when you get up at that table, just think about, don't think about, because I can't deal with the other person, think about, okay, how's this going to help where we live? You know what I'm saying? That's all. That's what we need to be thinking about when we're here. Not that I don't like you, I don't like her, I don't care what y'all do outside of here. As long as you make the right decisions for us as a community. I don't care what that is.
They gotta ask God, but all they do, these people believe in God, but they're not serving God.
I just wanted to say
Y'all
one
got to
thing.
serve God.
I just want to say one thing.
Ms. McIntyre hasn't had a chance to
As a county member, me and Mr. I have been on this board longer than the average person who sit on this board in this school. If I was not
We still at square
fulfilling
one.
my job to
We
do what
still
I
at
have to
square
do,
one.
then I don't think that I'd have been
We
in.
still
I
at
have worked
square
with these
one.
boards.
We still at square
These
one.
boards. I've been trying to get Sister Stone to run. She haven't ran either. But anyhow, though, I do everything I have to. I go beyond way Call of Duty to do things. And I know in my heart, if I didn't like this township, these leave a lot of things I want to be doing. I want to be coming to the meeting. I want to be trying to talk to this group or that group, that group. My heart is in it. And when I hear people say things, even though they mean it, they don't mean it, it gets to me, but I don't take it as they really mean it. I'm still going to do what I got to do. Everything that you talk about in the night, the parks and everything, the parks and everything, and I be down and talk. I know the situation. I ask him, I come in and help. I help cut the rack on my own time. I didn't help the men cut the fathers from the rack. I know the park needs done. I know that road needs done, Sharon. But we have other parks that was but when I said it was cut. It was cut. It was cut. It was cut. But then back, I just want to say that whatever needs to be done, I have no problem with doing it. I have no problem with doing it.
About cutting grass. About cutting grass. Why not look for getting a work contracted out? See what I'm saying?
There's motion on the table.
That's why we want to get done.
There's been a motion. It's been supported by 4. Madam Clerk?
They gave us 4 copies of everything. They just, I don't get $50 from this township. I can't afford to get nobody no copies. I mean, if you, I'll look it up. But I'm I thought I was supposed to pay us back. When I went to find out, I'm doing this on my own. I don't do it to protect myself. Okay, but I'm saying. They supposed to when you come to a meeting. I have a utility, but I have a big. Yes, I'm saying they're supposed to have so we can just everything they do. They're supposed to have meetings up. They can say that. Let me show you.